everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited that we're going to do this yoga practice together. Today's sequence is designed especially for young kids and young bodies. But if you are an adult that has some yoga experience and wants to practice along with your child, that's okay too. We're going to be doing sequences all from the animal kingdom. As you can see, I don't have any fancy backdrops or props to represent those, but we can use our imagination and have lots of fun. You're going to need a mat. As you can see, I have my mat already laid out. And you're going to need a blanket. Any kind of blanket will do. We're going to need that for a couple of the poses. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to start in what we call easy pose. So let's crisscross our feet, crisscross applesauce. And let's just sit nice and tall. Let that spine go as long as you can. Imagine your neck is like a giraffe. Take a couple deep breaths. Now to start our practice, I like to always start with an Om. So let's pretend that you are a bumblebee. You're going to take your fingers, cover up your ears, and we're going to say Om. Let's do that one more time. Cover up the ears. Om. Now, do you think that sounded like a bumblebee? I don't know. Maybe the bumblebee buzzes. So let's try going zzz. Cover up your ears and zzz. Good. All right, now that we've buzzed around, let's come onto all fours. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing sideways. Take off my socks. So if you're wearing any socks, let's go ahead and take those off so your feet can grip your mat. Okay, so we're on all fours. And we're going to first pretend we are a really tall Halloween cat. And we're going to arch our back up and look down at our belly button. Arch, 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 and breathe. Now on an inhale, we're going to be a really alert, intelligent dog. Let that belly sink and look up. Like it's your puppy looking up at you. We're so happy to see you. And exhale. Go back to the Halloween cat. And up into your dog. Arf, 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 arf. And cat. Halloween cat. And dog. Roof, 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 roof. And cat. And dog. Roof, 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 roof. One more cat. And one more dog. Roof, 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 roof. And now we're going to be a puppy. So a puppy is always really happy when it wags its tail. So we're going to wag the tail to one side and look at your bottom, and wag to the other side and look at your tail, and we're going to go wag it to one side and wag it over here and wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay, now let's push our hips back a little. Reach those arms long, long, long out in front and drop your head to the mat. Come up onto your knees. Lean over on your hands, lift up your toes and your feet, let your feet touch, and arch forward, and we're going to roar like a lion. Arr. And go back forward, head to the mat, hips on your feet, and let's do that lion pose again. Come up to our all fours, roll over your knees, and roar. And back to hips on your heels, and one more time, come up to roar like a lion. Roar. All right. Now, come back onto all fours. And we're going to do everybody's favorite, which is downward facing dog. If you guys have a dog, or even if you don't and you've seen one, you know that the dog, when it does its stretch, it looks just like this. So go up on your tipped toes and push your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Press your hands into the ground really strong and imagine you are that dog just stretching out your front paws and your front arms and legs. And good, breathe. All right, good. Now I want you to grab the sides of your mat. We're going to come up onto our tiptoes and bend so our tummy is touching our thighs. This is what I like to call wolf. And we're getting ready to spring forward. So stretch it out, bend, and let's spring your feet forward. Good. And from here, we're going to fan the arms up and come to stand in a super tall palm tree pose. Some people like to call this mountain. I like to call it palm tree. But either way, a mountain and a tree is important to the animal kingdom. So let's just stand here and breathe and feel how your body feels after those first few poses. Let your spine grow tall. Let's pretend you're like Jack and the Beanstalk's beanstalk and your spine is reaching up to the ceiling. You guys are doing great. Now we're going to open up our arms, take the arms out in front, and we're going to chomp like an alligator. Chomp, 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 chomp. Now switch the arm on top and chomp with the other arm. Chomp, 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 chomp. And wide arms. And now we're going to chomp our body forward so that our belly is going onto our thighs. So arms out, and we're going to chomp like we just did with our arms. Chomp, chomp, chomp. And let's prance with our legs. So bend one leg, stretch out one, bend the other, stretch the other one out, and back and forth. Chomp, 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 chomp. And breathe right here. All right, now we're going to heel toe our feet apart. So take your heels apart, pick up your toes, take your toes apart. Pick up your heels, take them apart, and pick up your toes and take them apart. Now, we're going to squat down. I want you to drop your bottom and put your elbows inside your knees. I'm going to sit here for a minute. Go back and forth. What animal does this remind you of? Whatever you think this is, you just imagine that animal while we're here. Okay, now we're going to push up out of our strong legs, bring our heels and toes one more time together, and we're going to turn into an angry, incredible Hulk. Ready? So we take your arms, make your fists, and we're going to go Arr! One more time, come up, and then on our squat, go Arr! One more time up, and Arr! Good. Now we're strong. We're feeling really strong. With our strong legs, we're going to push up and jump super high. Awesome. Okay, it's time for some balancing practice. This is my favorite name for this pose. Some people call it pirate, but since we're doing all animals today, I'm going to call it the flamingo. Okay, so I want you to pick up your knee and tuck your foot underneath, but let your knee point right down where your foot was. And just so you can put your hands on your hips for balance if you want. If this feels pretty easy, then you can flap your arms behind you like a gentle flamingo. And breathe. See how long you can hold this. And for an extra challenge, we're going to put the hands back on the hips and we're going to close our eyes. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! That was hard with the eyes closed. Okay, so other foot. So let's tuck our foot up towards your bottom. Let that knee point down right where your foot was. And take the hands behind you and flap your wings. It's our flamingo. If you're wearing pink today, then I bet you really look like a flamingo. Hands back to the hips. And close the eyes for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Whew. Okay, now this one's my favorite. We're going to do tree pose because trees are very important in the animal kingdom. So let's put our hands on our hips. We're going to point one foot out to the side. And we're going to take that foot. We're going to rest it right on your calf muscle, not on your knee, but right below your knee. Great, so make that leg that you're standing on super strong and pull all the way up through your spine. And you can take your hands right to your heart in prayer position. Or you can take your hands up overhead. And then you can wave your branches. It's springtime, and sometimes there are storms. And when the storms happen, there's lots of wind, and the trees blow, the wind blows, and the trees wave their branches. All right, hands back together at the heart, and foot down. And shake that leg out if that's a little sore for you. And now we're going to do the other foot. Okay, so stand nice and tall. Turn your other toes out, hands to your hips, and bring that foot in to the calf. Hands to your heart. This is a great place to stop. If you want to go on, take the hands up, reach them up for the sky. Try to reach that, catch that super, super high bird that's flying really high. Now wave your branches. Wave, 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 wave. Try to keep your balance as your branches are waving. Pull up in your belly, squeeze the belly, reach your head up to the sky, and hands back together, and foot back down. All right, great. Since we were pretending we were a tree, now we're going to move on to a couple of birds. Okay? Our first bird is the eagle. Okay, so standing on your right leg, for you guys, that's this one right here. Okay, we're going to lift our arms and our foot up. Crisscross that leg as much as you can. If your foot tucks behind your calf muscle, that's fine. Mine does not. And we're going to sit really, really, really low. Flap our wings high and go under and crisscross the arms. But let me turn around sideways for you guys to see this so you can see it from the side. And let the arms go up. Look up at your hands if you can. Good. Stay strong. Squeeze your legs together. And flap the arms up and back together. Good. Now let's do the other leg. So standing on your left leg for you, that's this one. Flap the arms up, lift the knee, crisscross it over, sit down nice and low as you can go. Squeeze your bottom. Squeeze your legs together nice and strong in. Flap the arms and under. Good. And now this eagle is flying high, reaching those elbows up to the sky, squeezing your legs together, and breathe. Good. Squeeze those legs, strong leg, and flap your wings and back together. Awesome. You guys are doing such a good job. Let's just take a minute and flap out our wings. Because we're going from an eagle to this way. And now we're going to do a crow. So we got to get your crow sound on. You guys know how to do a crow sound? What does the crow do? Caw-caw! Caw-caw! In Sanskrit, in a lot of yoga traditions, they actually call crow pose Bakasana. So, you should take your feet wide. We're going to sit down in that squat that we just did a minute ago. Oh, time out. This is where you might need your blanket. Okay? So, I'm going to pull my blanket close. And we need the blanket in case we fall forward. Because sometimes that happens in this pose. So you want to protect the top of the head. Okay? All right. So, and step our feet wide. Go down into your squat. Plant the hands on the mat. And try to get your elbow to your shin. So put your knee on the upper part of your arm. Awesome. Good. And as you get here, we're going to let ourselves teeter forward to balance on our hands. And bring your feet together, push them together, balance, 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 and back down. That was so good. Great try, everybody. Let's try that one more time. So plant the hands flat, knee up onto the upper arm. Good. Teeter forward and push those feet together. Squeeze your belly, squeeze your belly, squeeze your arms against your elbows, your shins against your upper arm, and back down. Awesome. That was even better. What do you say? You want to try that one more time? Let's do one more. Okay, so hands planted, knees up to the upper part of the arm, teeter-totter forward, stay strong in the belly, feet together, push, push. Oh, I lost my balance on that one. That's okay. Let's go on. We just have a couple more. Actually, a handful more. So we're going to go now to the amphibian and reptile group, right? We've got frog, turtle, lizard, cobra. Right. So, for frog, you should take your hands out in front of you. You're going to open the knees wide. Okay? And you're going to let yourself open up the legs really wide. Let the arms reach far in front of you. Okay, but we're going to come forward onto the inner part of your knees. We're going to say ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Let's hear you do it. Ribbit, 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 ribbit. Good, let's come back up. Awesome. With your strong hands, push yourself up, so bring your knees together. And when you turn around, you face forward. Now, I'm going to go on to turtle. This is my favorite one because we get to move a little with it. So bring your feet together. Pull them as close to your hips as you can. Okay. Now we're going to fold forward and we're going to slide the hands underneath your shins. See that? So can you see how your back rounds? This is kind of like the turtle shell. So now we're going to walk forward. Walk, walk, walk. And we move kind of slow, so we're really moving like a turtle. All right. And let's turn around if we can. Turn around. Turn around. See how my back is round? It's like my turtle shell. I'm going to walk back forward. Walk back around where I came from. Walk, 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 walk. And turn back around. Boy, that was fun. That was super fun. Good. All right. So let's slide the hands out. Woo! Stretch up high, stretch the body, shake it out. Okay, now, crisscross your feet, plant your hands forward, roll over on your knees, and slide yourself back on your mat. Good. Now we're going to come to standing, so I want you to push your feet into the mat, nice and strong, and push your hips up and back. We're going to go into one more downward facing dog to help us get ready for lizard. Okay. Now, from lizard, I want you to walk your feet forward. Good. Now walk your hand. That was your hand. Now walk your feet to your hands. Good. Now let's do that backwards. So walk your feet back. Now we're in a plank. Okay, now take your right leg and you're going to step it up to the outside of your hand. Let the back foot come down, back knee come down. Good. And keep those hands to the inside of that leg, of that front foot. stay here for a second. You can let yourself rock back and forth, rock forward. Keep your legs strong and try to keep your back tall. Yeah, awesome. You guys are doing great. Stretch that out. Wonderful. Good. Plant your back toes. Push up nice and tall. Lift that knee off the mat. Push off the front foot. Back to plank. Now take the other leg front to the outside of your left hand. Drop the back knee. And let yourself rock back and forth. Just stretch out that front leg. Keep your back long. Good. And just hold. So. Great. Now tuck the back toes. Push your hips up. Push into your hands. And step back to your plank. Lower your knees. And lower your body all the way to the ground. Okay. We have one more little reptile here to do, and that's the cobra. So take your hands alongside your shoulders. Keep your legs zipped up like the snake tail. Before we do this pose, we're going to slither. Just wiggle side to side. As wavy as you can get. And go. Okay. Now, with your hands under your shoulders and your legs zipped up nice and tight, I want you to imagine you are a king cobra. So you're going to lift up with your strong back muscles, and then your head comes up last and look forward. Good. And keep breathing. This is for a nice strong back. And lower down. Let's do that one more time. And this time we're going to say we're the hooded cobra. So turn your hands towards your body and let your elbows point off to the side. Take your forehead to the mat. Keep your legs zipped up. And now we're going to push up. Keep those elbows out. And now we're really king cobra. And breathe. And give it one big and down. All right. Boy, I'm having such a good time. I hope you all are too. Okay, we have one more pose that I like to do since we're kind of on the amphibian and reptile kick. We're going to go to another water animal, and that is called the crab. So, we're going to bring from to the back of your mat so you have room to walk. Point your toes towards the end of the mat. Point your hands towards the end of the mat. Squeeze your shoulders together and lift up your hips. And now we're going to do the crab walk forward. Walk, 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 and walk. My hips are sinking. I think I'm tired. And down. All right. Great job, everybody. Okay, so let's do my last favorite water animal. This is called the starfish. We're going to reach up, up, come up onto your tippy toes, walk to the end of the mat, stretch up high, stretch, 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 and let yourself just drop down into another starfish. Whew. Outstanding. Now in this posture, this is my favorite. It's called relaxation. So I want you to take one hand and put it on your belly, and the other hand and put it on your heart. And we're just going to breathe here for a few minutes. Let your feet fall open like those pointed legs of a star. Let your elbows relax. If you need to adjust your back, you can. Awesome. So let's breathe. So feel your heartbeat. On an inhale, feel your chest fill up. And on an exhale, feel that air go out. Inhale. Exhale. Every time you breathe in, I want you to try to make your chest as big as you can. And then when you exhale, we're going to try to get all of that old stale air that your body has already used. We're going to get rid of that. And inhale. Exhale. Now I want you to take a few more quiet breaths on your own and see if your breath starts to calm down a little bit. Instead of being like a thunderstorm, it's going to be like a really pretty calm spring day. All right. You guys did so great. So before we come up to sitting, I want you to bring your feet close to your hips. And we're going to lift our knees up to the sky. Let our feet face the ceiling. Take your hands to the elbows to the inside of your knee and the hands to the outside of your feet. And this is another one of my favorites. It's called Happy Baby. And we're going to rock and roll. Just rock around. Let yourself roll from side to side. Stretch one leg, then the other. Good. Now you're going to crisscross your feet, let go of them, rock back, and rock up. Awesome. And that is the rest of our yoga practice for today. I'm so glad you all could join me, and I hope you found it as fun as I did. You can do this practice all the time. You can do it every day. You can do a couple of the poses. Just the most important thing is to get your body to move in different ways and to practice breathing. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again soon.